Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring how technology impacts society.
Okay.
And I was using a poem to kick things off.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's called The Shared Spark by Toda Zetterlund.
Okay.
And she also writes about data platforms and AI on Medium.
Oh, wow. That's quite a mix.
Yeah, it really is. And the poem got me thinking about, how technology can be so powerful,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't always seem to benefit everyone equally.
Yeah. That's definitely been a pattern throughout history.
Exactly. And the poem uses this really vivid imagery, that kind of reminded me of the Industrial Revolution.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, there's this one line that says, "A nation rose on pistons hum."
Ah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Industrial Revolution was a time of amazing progress,
Right.
but it also, led to some serious social and economic divides.
Yeah.
And we're kind of seeing that happen again today with the digital divide.
Exactly. Some people have access to, super fast internet and all the latest gadgets.
And then others are, struggling just to get online.
Right.
And there's this other line in the poem that says, "Yet while the few claimed the gear, the many labored years by year."
Yeah.
Like, it just captures that uneven distribution of technology's benefits so well.
It really does. And that leads to this really interesting question that the poem asks.
Okay.
What if technological advancement was something we all shared in?
Hmm.
You know, what if it was for the collective good instead of driving us apart?
Right.
What if that spark of innovation could be shared by everyone?
That's where it gets really exciting, right? Because the poem doesn't just focus on the problems.
Right.
There's also this glimmer of hope.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about technology as a global craft that could lift the world.
I love that idea of a global craft. It speaks to the possibility of collaboration and, progress that we all share.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just some idealistic dream either.
Yeah.
We're already seeing this happen with open source technology.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point.
Like, think about Linux. It powers a huge chunk of the internet.
Right. And it was created by this global community of volunteers.
Wow, that's incredible. And it makes me think about the author's background in data and AI.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those fields have so much potential to solve the very challenges that the poem highlights.
Absolutely. Data can help us understand and analyze societal problems, figure out the root causes of inequality, and track how we're doing in terms of finding solutions.
Right.
And then AI, well, it's still early days, but it has the potential to completely transform things like healthcare and education,
Yeah.
making them more accessible and effective for everyone.
But AI also comes with some risks, right?
Of course, like
Yeah.
any powerful tool, it can be misused.
Yeah.
If it's not developed and used responsibly, it could actually make the problems we're talking about even worse.
That's a really important point. We need to be very careful about the ethical implications of AI.
Absolutely. Things like algorithmic bias and the concentration of power in the hands of a few big tech companies.
Right. We don't want to create a future where AI only benefits a select few.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a complex issue for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it all comes back to that central idea in the poem, the need for a brighter path for all mankind, as the author puts it.
Exactly. Technology can be a force for good,
Mm-hmm.
but only if we use it wisely and with a real commitment to progress that benefits everyone.
I agree. The choices we make today will shape the future of technology and
Yeah.
ultimately the future of humanity.
So we've been talking about this idea of a shared spark
Right.
and, the potential for technology to benefit everyone. But honestly, it can all feel kind of overwhelming.
Oh, yeah. I get that.
Like, what can any one person actually do to make that happen?
It's true. These are massive systemic challenges.
Right.
But the good news is that individual actions, when enough people take them, can create a real ripple effect.
So it's not just about waiting for, governments or big tech companies to solve these problems.
Not at all. Every choice we make as consumers, citizens, even just as people talking to our friends and family, it all contributes to the direction technology takes.
It's about asking ourselves what kind of future we want
Right.
and then figuring out what small steps we can take each day to get there.
I like that small steps. It makes it feel less daunting.
Right.
So give me an example. What's one small step I could take right now
Okay.
that would align with this idea of shared progress?
Well, think about the apps you use every day.
Oh.
Do they prioritize data privacy?
I'm not sure.
Do they promote inclusivity and accessibility?
I don't know.
Supporting companies that align with your values is a powerful way to vote with your wallet.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's easy to feel like we're just passively consuming technology, but we actually have more power than we realize.
Okay.
Even something as simple as choosing a search engine that prioritizes user privacy over data collection can make a difference.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, what about AI? It's evolving so fast, it's hard to keep up, let alone influence its direction.
Yeah, you're right. The pace of change in AI is mind-boggling,
Yeah.
but that's all the more reason to stay informed and engage in the conversation. There are some great organizations out there focused on responsible AI development,
Mm-hmm.
and they often rely on public input to shape their work.
Oh, interesting.
You could get involved in those efforts,
Yeah.
or even just start by educating yourself about the potential benefits and risks of AI.
Okay, I'll have to look into that. It's funny we're talking about these cutting-edge technologies,
Yeah.
but you mentioned earlier that some of the most important skills for this future are actually pretty basic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like critical thinking.
Critical thinking is essential. In a world overflowing with information and misinformation,
Yeah.
being able to critically evaluate sources and think for yourself is so important.
Yeah.
Don't just accept everything you read online at face value.
Right.
Ask questions, consider different perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
and be willing to challenge your own assumptions.
That's such good advice, and it applies to way more than just technology.
It really does. It's about being an informed and engaged citizen in all aspects of life.
Totally. And along with critical thinking, adaptability is key.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The only constant is change, especially in the tech world.
Yeah.
Embrace lifelong learning
Mm-hmm.
and be willing to step outside your comfort zone.
I hear you on that one. It's easy to get stuck in our routines, but the world is changing so fast.
Right.
We all need to be constantly evolving and adapting.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
We need to be open to new ideas, new ways of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And that requires a certain level of comfort with ambiguity.
Yeah.
Not everything is going to be black and white.
Right. So we've talked about individual actions and developing skills.
Yeah.
But what about the role of government and policy in all of this?
Oh, that's crucial.
It seems like they have a pretty big part to play in shaping a more equitable technological future.
Absolutely. One of the most critical areas where policy can make a real difference is in bridging the digital divide.
You're talking about making sure everyone has access to affordable internet
Yes.
and, digital literacy programs.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
can't have shared progress if a big chunk of the population is being left behind, simply because they don't have access to the tools and resources of the digital age. We need to invest in infrastructure, education, and training to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to participate in the digital economy.
That makes a lot of sense. And what about things like regulating AI and data privacy? Those seem like really complicated issues.
They are complex, but they're also essential.
Okay.
We need strong regulations to protect individual rights and ensure that these powerful technologies are being developed and used responsibly. That means establishing clear guidelines for data collection and use, creating mechanisms for accountability and transparency in AI systems,
Okay.
and putting safeguards in place to prevent algorithmic bias.
That makes sense. But do you think there's the political will to make these kinds of changes happen? It seems like there's a lot of debate and disagreement around these issues.
It's true. These are challenging conversations.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic that as more people become aware of the potential benefits and risks of these technologies, the demand for responsible governance will grow. We're already seeing a shift in public awareness,
Okay.
and I think that momentum will continue to build.
Well, that's encouraging. It seems like the stakes are incredibly high.
They are.
The decisions we make today about technology will have a ripple effect for generations to come.
I completely agree. This isn't just about the latest gadgets or social media trends.
Right.
It's about shaping a future where technology empowers everyone, not just a select few. It's about creating a world where that shared spark of innovation truly has the power to lift humanity as a whole.
Wow. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
Exploring how technology can drive progress and really how important it is to make sure everyone benefits.
Absolutely.
And, we started with a poem that got us thinking,
Yeah, it did.
and it seems like we've landed on a really crucial point.
What's that?
It's not enough to just talk about these issues.
Right.
We need to actually do something.
Exactly. Action is key.
Remember that idea of a shared spark from the poem?
Yes.
Well, I think each of us has our own unique spark, our own knowledge, skills, passions
Right.
that we can use to help build a more equitable and technologically advanced future.
Absolutely. Every contribution counts.
So it's not just about, big sweeping changes or waiting for someone else to fix things. It's
Yeah.
about each of us finding our own way to make a difference.
I love that. Finding your own way.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be something huge or complicated.
Right.
It could be as simple as, choosing to support businesses that have ethical data practices
Right.
or volunteering to teach digital literacy skills in your community.
Those are great examples.
Yeah, and it makes me think about those ripple effects we were talking about.
Yes.
Even small actions can make a big difference when enough people do them.
I agree. And one of the most powerful things we can do is just talk about these issues with our friends and family. Raising awareness and creating that sense of shared responsibility is crucial.
That's so true. Sometimes it feels like all we hear is bad news about technology.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Data breaches, AI bias, the digital divide.
Right.
But there are so many people working on solutions.
There are.
And there's a lot of reason to be hopeful.
Absolutely. And the more we can shift the conversation from fear and anxiety to actually focusing on solutions and taking action, the better. We need to reclaim the narrative and remember that technology is a tool, and we get to decide how we use it.
It's like that old saying, with great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. And we all have a responsibility to use technology wisely and ethically.
Yeah, to be thoughtful about the choices we make as consumers, citizens, creators, and to demand better from our leaders and the tech industry.
Yes. And to support the people who are working hard to create a more just and equitable technological future.
Well said. So to wrap things up, I want to leave our listeners with a challenge.
Okay, I like it.
What spark do you have? What knowledge, skills, or passions can you bring to the table to help build that brighter path for all mankind that the poem talked about?
That's a powerful question for everyone listening to think about.
Yeah.
And remember, it doesn't have to be something you already have. It could be a skill you want to learn.
Right.
A cause you're passionate about, a conversation you want to start. The possibilities are endless.
I couldn't agree more. This has been such an insightful deep dive.
It has.
And I hope it's inspired our listeners to not just think differently about technology, but to actually take action.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you.
It's been great having you. And thank you for joining us on the deep dive.
My pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep striving for a better future for everyone.